Welcome back to the Sports Desk on SYN 90.7 FM on your Wednesday morning. Today, we have a very special guest coming on board. She joined us just before the Olympic Games took off in Tokyo in 2021, and she's here to join us again to tell us all about her experience as an Australian Olympian. And here to join us is RMIT student and Taekwondo extraordinaire, Stacey Hymer. Stacey, welcome to the program today.
Hello.
Well done, first and foremost, for getting over to Tokyo and participating in the Olympics. We're all so incredibly proud of you. And how have you found the experience? And talk us through what it was like to be an Australian Olympian this year.
It was just such a big and amazing experience. Overall, it's so much happened. I was only there for 10 days. But, in that 10 days, every day was something new, something different. I was talking to athletes. I was meeting new people. We were going to trainings. We'd come back. We'd do recovery. We go to the dining hall. There's just a lot happening all the time. But we were able to have a lot of downtime as well. When you're not competing or you're not training, you're able to just sit around, relax, watch the TV, watch whatever sports are on there, and then start chatting to whoever you're sitting next to. And everyone knew within themselves, we're so lucky to be here. We're so lucky it's running and able to compete. And, because we're all itching to compete. And so finally we were able to, and then amongst that was really, really nice. If they were to come back into the village after their competition, we would all gather around and start applauding them. So it's just amazing.
Wow, that's incredible, Stacey. Now take us through the Olympic Village for starters, because by the looks of your social medias, the Australians were treated to quite an amazing little chunk of paradise there in Tokyo. And take us through what it was like, what the vibe was, how many participants you got to meet along the way, and were you a part of that big cricketing match that they had in the courtyard?
I reckon the Australian team had the best setup out of all the other countries. We had our own nutrition area where we could just go in anytime and get whatever snacks or food that we wanted, breakfast, lunch. If you wanted to make yourself a dinner, you could, and we had all the facilities there. We then had our recovery section and gym area where you had your own weights program, whatever you had to do, you could do there. And then after trainings, you had all the ice bars. There was 10 individual ice bars all lined up, and then they had TVs in front of them, so you could just sit in the ice bars, watch whatever game that was on, and then do your recovery. We had table tennis. We had two big TVs, so you just watch the games. And I wasn't part of the cricket, but I did watch it from a distance. I was do my own thing whilst they were going about doing theirs. If you wanted to get involved in activities, you could. If you wanted to just relax, you could. So there was no real obligation to do anything. It's just kind of what you felt.
How did the competition compare to other international competitions? Because we didn't have the crowd at this Olympics. Did it feel very different to other international competitions? Yes, I'm at the Olympics, or did it feel similar to maybe some of these other international competitions that you've competed at?
It did feel a little different. In terms of the whole setup and everything was different. In terms of the spotlight, it's all on you. In terms of crowds and stuff, it was a little weird, but it was okay in a way. You just whatever, you just still go on there and do your stuff. So yeah.
Now, Stacey, talk about your competition. You were doing incredibly well. You're up 12-6 against someone who I think is ranked number 3 in the world. Take us through that competition, what it was like, and what sort of experience will you take away from the actual competition itself?
So going in, I was so focused. I was ready. My mindset was on. Everything was on. Even fighting, going out there, stepping out there, I felt good in myself. I knew what I had to do. I was composed, and you get onto the mats and all those a wave of little nerves go over you and you're oh my God, I'm actually at the Olympics. So you're then fighting, and then scores are coming up, it's doing really well. And then all of a sudden when it kind of switched over where then she kind of took the lead, it was like a shock in a way. Like you it just goes like you like blank out and then you come back in, it's like, oh my God, she's winning. And then you're just kind of having to get that back. But by that stage, it was a bit too late. Being in there and being like so focused in it was just tunnel vision. You know, it's just you and her. Like I wasn't even paying attention to anything else around me. And it was just go in there, fight, do your stuff. Whenever you go into like your first fight, you're always kind of getting what we say, the gunk out of your body. And it's always then the second fight where that's kind of like your best fight, because then you're fresh, you know, you're fresher from the first fight. So I think it was just getting rid of all those nerves or the gunk, everything out. And then it's just that build up of it. And my calves literally get it first up. Like it's so bad, even at trainings everywhere. So when little components like that start to niggle at you, it starts to, then you're trying to think like, oh my God, my calves. And then you're trying to fight and then more things happening. Just, I think it's just that build up of everything. And then, I don't know, it just kind of didn't go my way, but it was okay. There was a lot to take back from it. Like, you know, a lot of reflection on it and thinking of different ways to now tackle this. So,
100%. And the great part about it is you're still so young and, you know, there's still so many Olympics before you potentially hit your peak as well with your age. How early do you start talking about Paris 2024 with your coaches?
Like we already talk about it now. We just say, what are your thoughts now in approaching 2024? Like, are you still interested, or all those kind of talk? And I'm there, you know, I've had my taste. I'm there for it now. Like, you know, throw me back in there. I want more, you know, give me more fights. Let's go here. Let's go overseas. Let's just fight everyone, because I'm just like so keen now to get back out there.
That's so good. Now, do you think having that experience now, do you feel more confident going into these other competitions in Australia and other international competitions that aren't the Olympics? Do you have a different sense of confidence now?
Yeah, definitely. It's more like now I can see myself. I've put myself against, you know, top athletes. I know where I stand, and I've gone, all right, I can do this against the top 3 athlete. Well, let's see what I can do against everybody else out there. You know, let's just put ourselves out there. And I think it's definitely giving myself a bit of confidence after not competing for 18 months. You know, it's like, all right, we still got it in us. We can still fight. We can still do this. So, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, when you do go into something like this, you've had such a build up and you have this high that follows after the race with everyone sending you these lovely messages. Do you ever feel down at all? I just wonder if you've been going like this the last 3 years, and now all of a sudden, does any part of you feel, I guess, down or negative?
When I first found out, like I was going to the Olympics, they kind of made it like a public thing, and I was getting all these messages going like, get ready, like hope you win gold, all those kind of stuff. And then I was getting in my head going, oh my God, I have to win gold. I have to do this. I have to do that, you know. And then all of a sudden I've put all this weight, like unnecessary weight on my shoulders. And I've gone to myself, hang on a second. They're just like positive things, like, but I've turned it into that negative side when, you know, it's just, like these people aren't going to be in the ring. So whatever they say, if they say, you know, you can win this, you can do this, like that's obviously good praise, but you got to be like, okay, they're just words, you know, they're just things that you can take on board, but you know, you kind of go, all right, and back behind, I've still got a job to do. So that's when I like spoke to my sports psych and we really broke it down and be like, yeah, just come in, over, and next.
Yeah. You bring up a really good point as well, Stacey, because obviously this Olympics was just incredible, and you know, the sportsmanship that was on display was some of the best we've ever seen. But one of the big topics that did come out of it was, of course, the mental side of sport and the kind of toll that it can take, even on some of the biggest champions of the world, such as a Simone Biles. How close did you get to that situation?
Yeah, so when I heard about Simone Biles and everything that's going on, you know, I looked at it and I've gone, of course she would be feeling like this, you know, for such a high profile athlete, and she's feeling like this. And I've gone, I'm feeling the same way she is. And I'm a bit of a lower profile athlete, you know, we're feeling the same emotions, nerves, everything. So I've just gone, good on her for, saying something. And like the Tokyo Games was all about emotion, bringing everybody together by emotion, and that whole mental side and emotion and everything, it can be overwhelming as an athlete, like totally. So when she did that, I was like, yes. And I think I felt like that during my fight. That's when she started to get ahead of me. I think that's when I lost a bit of that tunnel vision, a bit of that momentum. And I've just gone, oh my God, like, all those nerves, everything just really get to you. And then it's kind of like, yeah, disorientated. You don't really know how to move your body in a certain way. And then all of a sudden things are happening and it's like, oh my God, it's a lot to deal with right now. But yeah, definitely mental side. And, talking to other athletes about it, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone is feeling the exact same feelings. So talking to them and then realizing, oh, we're actually the same. We're even though we're different sports, we're still tackling the same mental battle.
That's so good to hear. It just sounds like such a wholesome environment, that because you haven't been able to have your families along for that support, having other people to lean on is so good. Is there anyone in the Olympic Village that you didn't know before going in that you met and became really good friends with?
So many people. A lot of people that I real connected with who were all relatively my age, first-time Olympians, and from various sports. Like one girl, Charisma from weightlifting, I met her during the opening ceremony and we just clicked straight away, and we're watching the opening ceremony. We got to know each other. Like it was a really beautiful, special feeling that we both had, because we're both very fresh to this environment and we didn't know anybody else. So, us two finding each other. All right, now we've made a friend, we've made a buddy. And then from then on, it's like, okay, now we can make one buddy, we can make two buddies. And then slowly I was meeting girls from soccer, from boxing, from tennis, from everywhere. So, you're just slowly making your way around and meeting all these new people. It was really, really special.
And I've got to ask you this, Stacey. We spoke about it last time we were having this conversation. Did you try a dragon sushi roll?
Actually, I did have that.
Hey!
I had an eel sushi roll and I'm eating it going, this isn't bad. Like, this is okay. You can do this. But they did have different sushis. Like, it's not your everyday sushi from around.
Not just avocado and a bit of rice and.
They were having some pink things in there, some eel, another one, some other seaweed in somewhere, and it was just very different, I'll tell you that.
That is awesome. That is so good. Wow.
Like walking into the main dining hall, and then you're just standing there, and I'm looking around, I'm looking at all the big and tall and, big build, everyone, girls, guys, everyone's just enormous. And I literally felt like so tiny walking in there, but they are so tall and just so many people. And, I was like sitting at the back, just like people watching, like seeing what they're doing, what they're eating, it was just nuts.
Oh, that's good, Stacey. Did you get starstruck at all?
There was like a few people, but I did grab a photo with one of the Irish rugby players. Like I saw him from Love Island. So I grabbed a photo with him because I was like, oh my God. But yeah, you have to. I'm never going to see them ever again. So you just got to do it.
And you know what? They probably love doing that. I would have done the same thing. Someone from Love Island, you got to get a picture. Olympian and Love Island, that combination, it's a rare one to find. So I would say 100% would back you on that, and I'd do the exact same.
Definitely. Being in final, they'd have the best time.
Wow. Stacey, thank you so much again for joining us on the Sports Desk and taking a deep dive, bringing us along for the journey and letting us know all the great details about your time at the Olympic Games. Of course, we have the Paralympics coming up, which are super duper exciting. And for all of the hard work with the organisers at the Olympic Games, it's an absolute miracle and a joy that it went ahead. But Stacey, you represented Australia very proudly. We are all so pumped to see you at the Olympics in Paris in 2024. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a lot of fun. And, sharing my stories with everyone, it's so good. Everyone should be a part of it somehow. So
It's incredible. You're an Olympian. That's what so many people dream of and very few get to achieve. So you get that forever. So huge congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.